Hi guys, so once again Nigel Farage is claiming that the Tories and Labour are not interested in stopping the boats because they aren't really convinced about leaving the ECHR. Of course, it's been pointed out about 100 times before that you don't leave the ECHR, you leave the Council of Europe and join countries like Russia. Farage said that Reform UK was the only party willing to leave what he called a foreign court when he appeared at a rally to thousands of supporters. However, like the crazies in the Conservative Party, Nigel has never explained how he will get round the Northern Ireland problem if he was successful in campaigning to abandon the International Court.
And for Keir Starmer, well, on his 6 election priorities, he doesn't mention once legal or illegal immigration, and so this crisis is set to continue. But it's a bit rich for the Conservatives to say to Labour, it'll be even worse under you. How much worse can it get than it is right now? We know we will never solve this problem, all the while we have an interfering foreign court in Strasbourg. We will campaign to leave the European Court of Human Rights.
My God, isn't it depressing to watch people cheering a guy who's saying, I'm going to campaign to strip away protections for you? Because principally that's what the European Court of Human Rights does, is protecting British citizens from their own government. And Nigel Farage is being cheered on by people as he says, I want to strip away those protections. Now, back to Northern Ireland. Why is the ECHR so important in Northern Ireland? Human rights are enshrined in the Good Friday Agreement. Protections under the ECHR are incorporated into Northern Ireland law. So people in Northern Ireland have direct access to the International Court when it comes to breaches in human rights. The Northern Ireland Assembly, when passing legislation, must make sure that it's subject to the ECHR. The ECHR can also overrule the Assembly if it's inconsistent with the Convention. Now, this is something that the British government has actually signed up to. And it created the Human Rights Commission some years ago, which was set up to ensure that human rights obligations are upheld by both Northern Ireland and Westminster governments. The ECHR prevents the UK from infringing on the rights of individuals without consequences. So leaving the European Convention on Human Rights or abandoning the court would breach the Good Friday Agreement. Farage has described it as a foreign court. It's not a foreign court, it's an international court. He knows that. So he's lying to his audience. But what has Farage and Reform UK got to say about this, about Northern Ireland? Well, nothing really. When he's challenged on it, he says it's not a problem to leave the European Convention on Human Rights when it comes to Northern Ireland. And unfortunately, the media don't push back on that. He needs to be thoroughly challenged on this. Ask him. This is what journalists need to do. They need to ask him, what is your alternative to the European Convention on Human Rights? You're talking about leaving this convention, abandoning the court, leaving the Council of Europe. What's your alternative to that? And how do you fix or get round the problem of the Good Friday Agreement? I don't think he has an answer because he doesn't care. This is an English nationalist party. They don't care about the situation in Northern Ireland. They don't even probably understand the situation in Northern Ireland. It's about winning votes in England, not in the Union. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.